given that the Dow had its biggest drop in 21 years and it happened on the same night as the final presidential debate, you knew that we were going to be privy to plenty of asinine ideas about how I can fix this economy. How about by staying away from it? While Joe the plumber got most of the attention, it was the first step in Obama's plan that really America should be talking about. Listen to this.
Number one, let's focus on jobs. I want to end the tax breaks for companies that are shipping jobs overseas and provide a tax credit for every company that's creating a job right here in America.
Okay, but you know, that feels really good, doesn't it? Ooh, you know, sometimes it's hard to dissect him because you're just like, ooh, that smooth, silky voice. You can't even think straight. But let's take a second and try to think this one through. He said we should end the tax breaks for companies that, quote, ship jobs overseas. Okay, I'm in. That sounds good. But wait a minute. Have you thought to think, why? Why is somebody in India answering your tech support call in the first place? It's easy if you think it through. It's because we already penalize our companies with the second highest corporate tax rate in the world. And then we add in an 800-page union contract, arbitrary minimum wages, and so much red tape that hiring or firing somebody is harder than putting them on the moon. And you still wonder why jobs are leaving America? Here's a tip. Stop using taxes to penalize and start using them to incentivize. Which brings me to Obama's idea to give tax credits to the companies creating jobs here in America. I mean, I hate to nitpick, but isn't that what every company with American workers is already doing? Let's just try to summarize Obama's plan. He thinks that companies that create jobs here should get a tax credit. Cool. But then, the same companies, if you make over $250,000, then you're evil, you know, which means you can hire people, more workers. They're evil, and so they should pay more in taxes so we can spread the wealth. I'm a little confused here. I'm not Joe the plumber, but I am a thinker. Aren't those two ideas completely opposite to each other? Fortunately, later in the debate, Obama did announce a tax plan that actually made some sense. Here it is.
Nobody likes taxes. Let's not raise anybody's taxes.
Well, I don't mind paying a little more.
Okay, there he said, I don't mind paying more. He doesn't mind. That's great. Here's a crazy idea. Then do it. No one is stopping you. If you really think that the best run charity on earth is the Internal Revenue Service, then A, I got to question your judgment again, and then B, tell you, by all means, Senator, write that check. Just don't force the rest of us, the ones who think our extra money is better off with our church or our Red Cross or the Cancer Society, or here's an idea, with our own company. You know, don't force us to write a check along with you. Stephen Moore is the economics editorial writer for the Wall Street Journal and co-author of The End of Prosperity. Bob O'Brien is the stocks editor for Barron's Online. And Peter Schiff is Dr. Spooky. I think I'm going to call you that from here on out, Peter. The president of Euro Pacific Capital and the author of the little book of Bull Moves in Bear Markets. Okay, Peter, Dr. Spooky, let me start with you. We saw in the paper today that Social Security, it is raising now 5%, the Social Security checks that are coming in. And a lot of people are like, oh, good, that helps. But that's $60 a month per person in increase. We have a $300 billion stimulus bill that is getting ready to pass through. We have a war. We have all of the stuff we've already done in the financial sector. I didn't hear either one of these candidates really take a hard stand and say, we're out of money. Cut, cut, cut. Did you?
Yeah, well, no. Well, the way they look at it, we're not out of ink, and they're just going to keep on printing. But the thing is, these guys don't understand that this is not a free lunch. If you print money to pay for government programs, that doesn't mean there's no cost. That just means the cost is hidden. The cost is in inflation, and it means that everybody's paycheck is less valuable and everybody's savings are less valuable. That's all we're doing.
And Bob, let me go back to you with the Social Security payments. We have these payments going up 5%, which is the highest jump in, what was it, 25 years, I think? Does anybody believe, this is the problem with government statistics. Does anybody believe, really, that we only have a little move in inflation? I mean, this isn't even covering the cost of inflation. These are government numbers that have been crunched to make sure that they don't pay out more than they can possibly get away with.
No, anybody who's taking government statistics at face value under the current environment is really kind of living in la-la land right now. These numbers have been effectively gamed and ginned up and twisted into all sorts of cute little balloon animal shapes so they don't look quite as frightening as possible, but the market's still reacting as though they are frightening. I mean, we saw that retail sales number yesterday. It was about twice the decrease that we expected to see. And look at how the market's reacted. We had the worst day we've had since the sell-off back in 1987. Was there anybody out there who really thought that retail activity was going to look pretty bright in the month of September?
I think there were some of these dopes that did. Steve, let me go to you with the statistics. I asked you a couple of days ago, because I don't believe the government statistics. They've conveniently lost some of our ways to measure how many dollars have actually been printed. They did it, I think, about 2 years ago, and I said at the time, wait a minute, it's almost like you want to print money and not have people easily be able to find out how much. Tell me about these charts that you brought in and what it means on printing of actual dollars.
Well, you know, when Peter said that the only constraint is that they won't run out of ink. If they keep printing money like they are, Peter, they're going to run out of ink too, because we can see by this chart. I don't know if you have it on the screen there, but you can see this massive increase in the amount of dollars that the Federal Reserve has created. So the printing presses are literally going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to try to keep up with this demand. When you talk about the increase in Social Security benefits, if you add up all those wonderful new government programs that Barack Obama talked about last night that he's going to create to help us solve this problem, the only way they can possibly do that is either print a whole lot more money or take away that big tax cut that he's talking about for 95% of the people, which I don't think, if anybody out there thinks we're getting a tax cut next year, it ain't coming, folks, because there's no money left.
All right. Now, Peter, I believe Stephen is right that there is no tax cut coming because there is no money left. There's no tax cut coming, especially from these guys. I mean, it will, maybe they'll shift it from one place to another. They'll tax somebody much, much more and give it to somebody else, but it's just going to destroy us faster. The other thing that's not going to happen is higher interest rates, because that would collapse the economy as well. But if that's the only way to pull this money that's being printed back in, there's no way to stop this now, right?
No, but higher interest rates are, in fact, coming. You know, the government's not going to be able to stop it. Right now, interest rates are rising for everybody but the federal government. So Treasury rates are low, and every time the government guarantees more debt, like they guaranteed Freddie and Fannie, now they're guaranteeing all this bank debt, they're creating more and more supply of Treasury debt. So the only way you can borrow money right now is with a government guarantee. But pretty soon, the world is going to wake up that it's not default risk that they have to worry about, it's inflation risk, and we're going to get much, much higher long-term interest rates. That's coming, and that's just going to compound the problem.
Right.
You know, Peter is right about that. That's the reason why right now we have a situation. The Federal Reserve Board has become the biggest bank, commercial bank in the world. It's the only place that's lending right now.
Right, but it's not, and they're not going to jack up the rates per se to try to control it. It's just out of control now.
Yeah. But eventually the market will jack up the rates because somebody has to be willing to buy the paper.
Okay.
And when no one wants it, the price is going to collapse and rates go up.
Bob, I want to talk to you a little bit about oil, because if I hear this one more time from one more pinhead, I think I'm going to scream. They keep saying, oh my gosh, look at the price of oil. Well, that's good news. At least the price of oil is down. This is, I said, when things really start to spin out of control, you watch the price of oil, because that's when we're in real danger, when it just...